Hi, I'm Tyler Dainaki and welcome to Art After Dark, the art show where we're going to teach you how to create simple and beautiful paintings no matter what your skill level is. In fact, if you're a beginner or you have never painted before, this is a great opportunity for you to paint. You can paint along with our live audience here or invite some friends over. And we're going to have a great time painting this painting called Life's a Beach. The colors we're going to use are just yellow, a white, purple, and you can grab a light blue and a dark blue. You can get any kind of acrylics from craft shops or art stores. And then our paintbrushes we're going to use is just a 3/4 inch wash, a nice round, and a liner brush to do our details. So first step we want to do is grab a little bit of water and that dark blue. What I'm using is, I think it's called an indigo. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a horizon line. So we're just going to bust right across there. That's where our kind of island mountains are all going to sit. And then we're going to have our sky and then our water down in this area. So once we get that, we're going to clean off our brush. And we're just going to start at the top. And then we're going to start to mix this in. So I'm going to grab that color again, that nice indigo. And we're going to, when we're painting this, we want to keep our brush really horizontal as we're going. So we're going to pull this across that way. And see, once I get one area filled, I'm going to bring my brush down and start to fill a little bit more there. So you can grab a little water. If you start to see how my paintbrush comes through there and you see these little dots, a little bit of water will help get that moving really nice. I just got to bring this down. It'll start filling all those little holes. Okay, so we're going to keep filling this sky. Let's get some more dark brown or blue on there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab a little bit of water. And what's neat is that the sky starts to develop its own clouds when you're coming left to right, because you're going to have thicker paint on your paintbrush when you start in certain areas and thinner paint. And then you can see already that you have some little sky streaking going on. So we're going to keep on building that. If you want to fill in a spot really easily, just give her a little scrub. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of a lighter blue. I'm going to mix it in to that guy. I'm going to add some in here. See how she looks. Okay, moving along. I just love painting skies because they end up looking so vibrant as you get through them. So keep on building your sky. Once we drop this a little more, we're going to add in some whites to add in a little bit of highlights here and there. See, that's getting a little too blue, light blue for me, so I might add a little bit of that dark blue. So it makes it look like a little bit of the clouds is coming in. There we go. You can see right in there, it looks like another little sky streak. Okay, grab a little bit more water. Now again, you don't want to get your paintbrush too wet. We don't want it to be a full kind of watercolor. You want to be able to mix it up as you're going, which is really nice. And if it gets a little dry, you can just come back and add a little bit more water and it wakes it right up. My blue. Okay, so now I'm getting to this area in the middle here where I'm going to add a little bit of, oh, my guy's being funny on me today. A little bit more white in here because I'm going to lighten this area up and then I'm going to start to bring in yellow. So this starts to become a lot more brighter as the sunset's coming in. So I'm going to grab a little bit of white. I'm just going to see how this looks on here. It starts to look really nice, like clouds. I can grab some too and maybe do a little shot up in here. And I'm not coming in and stopping with my brush. If I come in and stop, I'm going to have a little mark like that. I'm kind of have this nice follow through where my brush is lifting right off of the canvas and keeps on moving along. Now if you're using this wash brush as well, you can turn it into vertical so it's the thinner side, and you could do some nice little lines through it as well so it looks like more like little clouds in the background there. Okay, so I'm going to keep building this. A little bit of white. And here's some more water on her. There we go. Filling this in. Filling this in. Now, this is where we're going to start to add a little bit of purple so we can get some fun colors happening in this. So I'm going to use a lot of white in here. Let's just put a bunch on as we're going right underneath. going to start adding a little bit of purple. Don't be afraid to grab a whole bunch of paint either. Then you could really work it. Sometimes I don't use enough. Okay, so there's a neat little transition we got going on. I'm going to pull some of that up. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of purple and add it to this white, which is going to give us a cool, nice little pastel color. And it really mixes really nice. All right. Look at that. This looks awesome. Beautiful little color. Maybe a little bit more white, tad of purple, and then I'm going to start adding in a little bit of yellow. So let's clean off your brush, dab her off on the napkin that you have. And then I'm going to grab some yellow. I'm going to come right through here. So I'm going to start from a yellow on the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit in here. Oh, I got a little blue in there, so it's going to turn a little green, which is okay. There we go. And then I'm going to add some of this. I have a little bit of a orange hue going on in that. That's not bad. Skies have so many colors in them. It's crazy when you take the time to actually look at them and see what's going on. So there's some nice yellow going on. From there, let's take the white. I'm going to start to blend this in. And I might want to add a little bit of yellow up in this area too, just to bring it out. Okay. Right here. Let's put a little bit of yellow in this. Right in there. Like a couple little highlights. Like the sun's bouncing off the bottom of a cloud in certain areas. See how that just pops? Look at that. Okay, so I want you to finish off your sky, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish the water here. We're going to use the same kind of technique and build up our water area. So we're done our sky. Now what we're going to do is start to fill in our water area. I'm going to give it a little bit of a purple shadow underneath this because we're going to do some of those islands in the background. And I'm going to really light it up into a nice kind of cream color down here. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of water again and some purple, and I'm going to follow that horizon line a little bit. I'm just going to lay my brush down. We're still using that wash brush. So just to do that, I use the thin side of it. Now that's all I want, something like that. Just laying it on. Now I'm going to switch over to my white. I'm going to start to blend it in. Same thing we did with the sky. Exact same thing. We want to stay horizontal and keep moving that across. Okay. So you can see that nice little color there. Now I'm going to lighten it up in here. Maybe grab a little bit more and then push her down. There we go. So that's when I'm using a lot of paint just for this area here. But I keep working it in. I'm not just putting it on and abandoning the section. I'm working that paint across. I'm going to put some more on. And then when I get to here, I want a little bit of that yellow reflection to come in. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow and just add her in there. And then you can see that start to look like this area a bit up here. Oh, I need to pull that in. There we go. More white. Like I said, keep on working it. And maybe in this spot, I might just lighten this up, give her a couple little water reflections here and there. And that's just by very lightly going over with your brush and just touching it. Okay, I'm going to bring this down to probably about here, this area, because we're going to have our little beach scene with our palm trees, and we could put a hammock in there, or whatever you want. Maybe some beach chairs, a beach drink. Okay, so I got this happening. Now I'm going to make some of this reflection happen maybe here with a little bit of yellow again. I'm just going to touch that up down here. I'm going to drag it across. And I was just scooting across really quick going back down. And then maybe the sun's going to catch the water on this side a little bit. So I'll add just a little bit of yellow down here as well. And you can see if you have any of those big areas where the brush stops, if you just see like that flat area, something like that, just take your brush and lightly come back either direction. And then let's see, maybe a little bit more white in here. I'll lighten this up. There we go. A little bit more white. And once you're done this part, we are going to work on our mountains in the background. So finish up your water, and then we're going to come back and do our mountains and hit some palm trees and stuff. So we're done our sky now. We're done our water with the highlights, and now we're going to work on our little islands. We're going to add some clouds into the sky here. So to do our islands, I'm going to use that bright brush. It's a 3, and I'm going to grab a little bit of that dark blue again, and just a little bit of water. Now I want to follow this line. It's really cool and really fast to make these islands. I'm going to pop up, and then I'm just going to bring her down, and I'm going to use the thin side of my brush and maybe drop it into the horizon bit. And then when we're coming up on this end, I might bring this one right up and over. So that's going to be my one little hill there, little island. Then I'm going to grab that dark blue, and I'm going to just fill it in. Since you have yellow on the back, it's going to let some of that pop through, and it's going to look a little green. So it's going to look through the horizon that it's, you know, an island full of trees and animals. I'm just going to fill that in. If it gets a little sticky, you can grab it again, a little bit more water, and just work that little line. So I'm pretty happy with that cute little island there. I'll do another one on this side. I'm going to fill him in, grab a bunch. You don't have to worry about if there's little lines in it, because it'll look like it's, you know, some mistakenly done details on that guy. A little bit of water, and I'm going to just finish the bottom here, like that. Bring her right across. And there you go, you got 2 little islands. Boom. Okay, now we're going to work on a couple little clouds in the top here. These are really fun. I used to always be scared of clouds until I figured out that they're really easy to do. So I'm going to use the same brush, and all I'm going to do is come in from this side, and I'm going to start kind of light, little line, and then I'm going to push down a little bit, and I'm going to have it a little bit flatter on the bottom part here. Maybe give her a couple little twirls to make it look a little bubbly. And then you can use the paint, and some of this might still be wet, or you're going to take it off so that you see the back painting underneath it. So that looks like a cool little cloud to me. Now I could come in, same thing, I'm using a little bit of purple, a little bit of water, and maybe I'll do a bigger one up here. Okay, and grab a little bit more paint. And just have it watered down a little bit so that I can use some of that color in the background to kind of pop through so it looks like it's a little bit transparent. And I'm just going to make some circles. I'm not too worried about my paint strokes because that's going to add some dark areas to make it look like it's darker in some spots. And then I could come in, maybe grab a little bit of white, and I can, you know, maybe highlight a little area on the bottom. I could grab my finger. I just love using him. There you go, you kind of highlight the bottom right there. So down here, let's say we want just a small little cloud floating by himself. He's a little loner guy, but he's the best. There he is. There we go. There's another little cloud. Really easy to make these things. We just don't want to think too much about it. It's funny when we start painting, everything gets pretty scary because we want it to look exactly like it does. And then I'm going to add a little white to this guy on the bottom. And I'm still using that one little brush. Okay, and then I'm going to have this guy come up here. A little bit of dark purple. And then let's get this bottom kind of moving around. There's a simple little cloud there. So once you make a bunch of them, we're going to move on to our stars. And you don't want to fill up too much clouds in the area. You want it to be sparse because we're going to have our palm trees coming through. We want to fill the sky with stars. So just a couple will look very nice when you're making your clouds. So we're sitting with Tabitha, and this is where you're at on your painting right now. And you're saying that you really like doing the backgrounds and the
Yes,
water.
the blending is a lot easier when you use the whole canvas.
When you're going left to right,
Yeah,
like a big
left to right,
horizontal
yeah.
wash. That's a lot
Yes.
of fun. And you really get to play with the colors and see them mix into each other.
It's a lot easier to blend, for sure.
It is. I like your mountains too. Have you been to the islands? Island stuff? Looks like you
Yes, I have. Yes,
Cool.
yes.
They look very nice. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're sitting with Jay, and this is how your painting is looking. It looks so good right now. It looks awesome. And you were saying that you like doing this kind of area?
Yes.
The nice horizontal ones. And you said you painted before too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, great. What kind of stuff do you do?
Acrylics, oils, anything really.
Everything. Cool. So tell me about your clouds. You did really good at that as well.
I
You did
really like the
good.
variation of putting highlights on the bottom and darker up on top.
Yeah, that's really cool because the sun is shooting up from the bottom, highlighting the bottoms of them, and be a lot darker on top. Your island looks really great too. Good job. I love it. Once we're done our clouds and our mountains, we're going to come in and start filling our stars in. I always find when people begin stars, they like to plot them out, and it ends up looking like a big graph. So in order to kind of make them look more natural, you want to kind of clump them together, how you see it in pictures of galaxies and stuff. So I'd make a star, say about here. Again, I'm using the little liner brush and just grabbing a little bit of white paint. So we're going to make one star, and I'm just going to come in and use the tip of it and add a whole bunch of just kind of little guys around it. So it looks like a nice little clump. Now I'm going to move over here, maybe do a medium star, and I'm going to kind of move around and start adding other ones to it. So very, very random will make the stars look a lot more natural if you progress that way. So obviously, when we start to pull our stars down, we aren't going to see them as much when we move down into this area. So as we get a little further, let's just make our stars a little bit more sparse, maybe smaller so they're in the distance. And then as we get into the darker area, we can thicken up how many there are around each other, and even how big they are. So you want to use medium again, medium stars, big stars, little tiny ones. If you get a big one, it's really nice to make a grouping. It starts to look like a little star cluster. And sometimes it's really fun if you have a favorite constellation, you could come in and draw that out as well. You just keep on making your stars. Fill her right up. Don't be afraid to put a lot in it because it starts to look awesome once you get them all in. So we're done our clouds and everything. I've got a whole bunch of stars on here. What I did is I came back and I highlighted some stars to make them look like they're glowing. So how we do this is you grab a little bit of white, wipe it off on your napkin. Napkins are your best friend. You'll use a lot of them. And I'm just going to pick a star and I'm going to lightly go around them and see how much paint I have on it. I'm just going to make a nice little circle around it so it looks like it's kind of glowing. I can use this guy, come in, get it to glow. And you can see how that really brings it out. I just love it. They really start to pop out on your canvas once you start to add this little glow thing. You have a whole bunch of little galaxies or something back there. You can name them whatever you want. Okay, so once you finish doing all of that, we're going to build our palm trees. Now, I just love doing these palm trees because it's really, really neat how we do them. You're going to use your flat brush, or the wash brush, and I'm using, again, for the black, I'm going to use a fluid acrylic because that really is really easy to come in and do these lines. So the first thing I did is I gave myself my little beach, and just, you can make it bumpy, put it on the bottom a bit, and then just fill it in with black. Fill her all in. Really fast. And then we're going to start our palm tree. So with the palm tree, same idea. We're going to load this up. I'm going to pick one. Since I did this one, I might make this one a little higher. This is my center part. So for this center part, I'm going to put it right about here. So I'm just going to make just a little spot for my reference. Now I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm going to have the thin side down. And I'm going to walk down all the way to the bottom. As I get to the bottom, I'm going to push it down a little harder. So you can see that it has that kind of nice little skinny area on there, just like a palm tree. So that's the whole trunk of the palm tree. Now let's start building the branches and the leaves. Same idea, we're gonna lay down our brush so that we get it kind of flattened out. And I'm gonna give her about, I don't know, 7 branches. I'm gonna come from the middle and I'm just gonna pull up. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that one's big, 7, and I'm happy with 7 right now. Lucky number 7. Okay, once I get that, I'm gonna do the same thing, and let's start building this branch here. So I'm gonna come from the middle, I'm gonna make sure that it's really nice and flat and really sharp, and I'm gonna start building the leaves. So I'm just gonna walk on the inside of it, and I'm slowly laying the leaves down as I get to the tip. And I can start from this end and start to spread these out as well. So I'm starting from the leaf and just building. Then I could come to this one, grab a little bit more paint. We're gonna fire those off like that. Some cool little palm trees. I'm gonna make some neat little stuff here. Fill in some space. I'm gonna do this guy. Remember to always start your paintbrush in the middle of that first line you made. That's gonna make it really fill out. And if you think it's too sparse, you could come in and put in some other ones here and there. There we go, I love how this is looking. Quick little palm trees. Once you're done your palm trees, you could come back and start to add in a little hammock between them. Now, a hammock, it shouldn't be too intimidating, but sometimes it is because this black isn't as forgiving. So how I start this is I just come down and I made a nice little kind of dip in the middle, and then I came back and did a straight line. I don't want you to go for perfection, I just want you to have fun with it. So after I got that done, I'm gonna come and maybe do some little quick lines in here, nothing too crazy, some small ones, and then I'm gonna make some diagonal ones. We're just gonna fill this in so it starts to look like there's something there. Then I'm gonna grab a little bit of black, make a bar, do some knots. Then I could come darken this up on the bottom a bit so it looks like there's a little bit of a contrast in there. And then you can have a little hammock. If you want to put someone in it, you can just make a little circle, a couple little legs, and you got a person. It's that easy. For the foliage, again, we're just going to use that little liner brush, and you want to shoot from the bottom up and start making some grass. We're getting good at this grass thing. So after you get some of that done, you can add maybe some darker spots so it makes it look like there's a little bit of flowers in this. And keep on building that out. Tabitha, you did an awesome job.
Thank you.
You absolutely killed it. It looks great. Really good. What was your favorite part?
The background.
The
blending.
background?
The blending, but then the palm trees were...
The palm trees are a lot of fun, and they're a lot
fun.
easier than people think by
Yeah.
just kind of using that method coming through.
I thought they'd be really hard, actually.
That's,
They weren't.
yeah, sometimes things are a lot easier than they seem. Your person too down here is awesome too. I love how you
Thank
did all
you.
that. Great job.
Thanks.
Great job. Thanks for coming. So now that you've finished all these steps, you have completed Life's a Beach. Feel free to share your paintings with us on our social media pages, and if you'd like to be part of Art After Dark's live studio audience, visit our webpage for all the details. Thank you for watching Art After Dark. Art After Dark is brought to you by JRG Contracting, specializing in custom home renovations in the St. Albert and Greater Edmonton area. JRG Contracting. Art After Dark is filmed in front of a live studio audience at Bravada Wine and Tapas. Located in the heart of downtown St. Albert, Bravada only uses fresh and local ingredients.